You are sent back to the Roman ages. You can take one item from the modern world. What do you take? Antibiotics. I don't want to die of gonorrhea or syphilis, but I want to partake in all the orgies. Well, you likely won't die of syphilis. It was theorized that it was brought over during the European age of exploration. And though there is some debate, it seems to be accepted that it was brought over only after tilde 1500 AD. LMAO word. Go for it. While orgies were not unheard of in ancient Rome, they were much less common than what we imagine. Most of the account of Romans having orgies like is no big deal come from late Christian auteurs that wanted to depict the pagans as total degenerates. If you went around Augustus Rome asking for the nearest orgy, people would have looked at you like some sort of barbarian. Or if you were lucky, they would have sent you to the nearest lupanar, aka the brothel. A translator. Most logical emo. Ha, I am fluent in Latin. Of course, the Latin they spoke was different than the Latin they wrote, but I should be able to get by. Hopefully, a tomato with its seeds. That would completely change the culinary world. The people, he's the devil. A flashlight to scare the shit out of people at night. A flashlight to scare the shit out of people during the day. It honestly wouldn't. There have been lanterns that focus light into beams for a stupid long time. Yes, not as focused as modern flashlights. But the point is, it's not like it would be straight up alien to Bronze-aged people. They'd just wonder from a distance how you managed to make your lantern that bright. Case in point, the Lighthouse of Alexandria existed. You're basically the god of light. History book. I'd see how accurate they are, then I'll change the past so the future isn't fucked up like now. Happy cake day, lad. How do you know that you don't fuck it up even more? X. Kill baby Hitler and deal WW2 nuclear weapon age and destroy mankind. I'll take an electric solar vehicle with its documentation. A tank isn't going to work. Those things guzzle fuel. Or if I wanted to be a cunt, I'd take a person with the bubonic plague. 650 cases are reported per year worldwide. So there's probably some poor sucker somewhere in the world with it now. You'd probably be a deadly plague carrier anyway with your millennia advanced future germs. Loads of Viagra for that Roman pussy. Fun fact, the word for a brothel in Rome was lupanar, which loosely translates to wolf's den. The women there were called she-wolves. No Viagra needed. They had silphium, a combination aphrodisiac and birth control herb. But that pussy unwashed though. A fucking gun, my guy. Fuck getting crucified. Yeah, fuck that shit. Also fuck getting eaten by lions. Solar-powered calculator. Preferably scientific or graphing. Programmable. Step 1. Give the Romans a calculator. Step 2. Travel back home. Step 3. Enjoy your flying cars and learn Latin. A rocket launcher and convince them I am a god to be worshipped. This is my boomstick. Stupid primitives. You can only take the launcher. Unless you take a law, you're fucked. You'd be fucked if you take a law, because after demonstrating its power once, it's useless. My teddy bear. Yeah, you're gonna need that soon. An encyclopedia written in Latin. That consists of a bookshelf of books. That should speed up technological progress quite a bit. AR-15. Nobody would mess with me. Until you went to sleep. Or turned your back. Lot of those guys were pretty handy with a stealthy knife in a tight space. M1 Abrams tank. And what will you be fueling that with after the first hour? I would bring a Karen with me, just to see what will happen. I want to speak to the Emperor. Cigarette. Cigaweed. I would take an America-class amphibious assault ship and equip it with one of those big-ass electromagnetic railguns with a lot of machine guns on board and get some buddies from the local areas and become one of the most prolific pirates and knock down all of the major civilizations to be known as the world's worst alien warlord. Can I join your crew? A glove. So I can find the ancestors of Op and slap the shit out of them for their future crime of leading to the birth of Op. Engineering chart book. That thick brick is equivalent of a Bible and has every formula, equation, and basic properties of materials and elements you could ever need. And since it is in modern-day Finnish, I'm only one in the world that can read it. I would disguise myself as a master engineer from a faraway mythical nation. Die quickly from some disease. My dog, Nuke. Nice weapon of choice, lad. I'd take a few steps then figure it out. A tank. Refueling would likely be problematic. Well, that's mostly what some people say. Several pounds of uranium and slowly make people think that water is bad for them and that I'm a god. A megaphone. What you gonna say? A TV so I can hopefully plug it in at the nearest halfway house. 50 BMG with a 1000 rounds. A snack for when I get hungry. An analog clock. It will be equipped with a secret solar cell to drive the hands. The rest of the mechanisms would only give the appearance of driving the clock. Gears, shafts, escapements, etc. would move, but only the solar cell would power it. This would save on needing to replace worn parts because the ability to do so does not exist yet. It should also pass any inspection given by even the most intelligent of that era. The few moving parts that do drive the hands would be made out of extremely durable materials. I am thinking carbitanium. I do not know how to build or maintain a clock, so it must be self-sustaining, easy to set, and as maintenance-free as my era's modern technology allows. I would carry my clock into the grandest temple and speak to the head priest. I will use the years of classic Latin I put myself through prior to my time-traveling episode to convince said priest that I carry an instrument of whatever god they worship in that temple. This instrument, I will explain, will allow sailors to find their longitude. To do so, we will first need to mount the clock at the very top of the temple. To ensure the solar cell gets plenty of good sunlight, I would then set the hour, the minute, and the second hands to 12 at noon. Next, I will show them proof of a global model of Earth. They are already pretty sure that the world is round because they have always observed sails appearing before her hulls as distant ships crest the horizon. I will show them with the maths they understand that Earth spins at 15 degrees an hour. Thus, if they set Rome Central Time as 0000 mark from where the clock is mounted and then follow the direction of Earth's rotation, they can invent a standardized system of timekeeping. By now, I am sure the current Caesar will be very interested in my divine instrument. Once he sees the clock and the new form of timekeeping as shown with demonstrable mathematical proofs, he will commission his city's best artisans to replicate the clock. The false drive in the clock will prove valuable as a template because although it is not actually driving the hands, it sure looks like it could. I estimate 20 years will elapse between first presenting the clock and the first functioning prototype. The bitch during this time range will be duplicating all of those gears. But I trust in human ingenuity. It will be a crude facsimile. But once the proof of concept is demonstrated, an entire industry will be born as many try to hone the accuracy of their clocks until they rival that of the God machine. Parts will become smaller and entire new schools of thought will crop up to fully understand clock engineering, as well as global scale algebra, geometry, and trigonometry to understand time's relativity. Of course, I will be there to guide them along because I also took engineering and physics courses during my massive knowledge build-up before I left my era. Eventually, clock technology will have sufficiently advanced to the point of mass production and dissemination to the Roman army and navy. Each ship and ground unit will be equipped with its own clock that is calibrated to the original, which is still perched and functioning perfectly atop the temple. Command-level crewmen and soldiers will know how to tell the time and then do the math to reckon it with Rome Central Time to determine their longitude. The name on those clocks, The Geek Forever. But my real name, of course, as it is only right to name this incredible leap in technological advancement after the person who Made all of it possible. Profit. Tokyo. A loaded gun. I'd use it very sparingly, only killing the ones that are a real threat and threatening the rest. They don't know that it can run out of ammo. I'd be a god they fear. Also, assassinating their king would be super easy. Get a M4 with a 100-round mag. Semi-auto it and boom. You are god until the 101th person tries to kill you. Yeah, what the guard's gonna do, huh? Attack you with stick that has a knife on its tip. A dildo. So I can mess up a whole ass religion. People back then are not that bright. If you get time travel back wearing whatever you wore, they will be clueless on the fuck you are wearing. Spice in that you are wearing the clothes of the gods and you have been sent to offer them the new icon of the religion. A dildo. They may 100% accept it, and when you go back you'll see that a dildo was worshipped by the Romans. They most likely knew what a dildo is. You can see for yourself. Just go to Pompeii and visit the adults-only section of the museum. Loaded gun. Kill Caesar early. My chemistry textbook. I'm still paying it off. Just kidding. I'd take a 1000 milliliters bottle of pure LSD. Start a revolution and teach everyone basic biology, cosmology, geology and chemistry. They had maths and engineering sorted and I'm crap at those anyway. A gun. This is where the fun begins. Gold coins. I'm a woman in the Roman ages. I need to find a husband or I'm totally screwed. This should help with the dowry. I'm fluent in Latin. Thanks. High school. And should be able to avoid lead poisoning if I'm careful. So I think I'll be okay. Bike. Vaccines. An academic medical book. Hippocrates, my guy. You've got some good ideas. But you really don't know why you're drilling into that man's skull, do you? Balance the humors. Alright. Sounds good to me. My PC build. A gun. I will take back a generator. It would be such a funny thing to see them spinning the shaft with like a water wheel and getting electric shock from the output. A history book. Box of scientific textbooks translated into Latin. Let's jumpstart the future. I'd take a taser and shoot it at people, then get worshipped as Jupiter since I can shoot lightning. An M44 assault bazooka. I'm here to fuck up your phalanx. A jerry can of 3-in-1 body wash and water mixture. I heard they bathe in pee. Gross. Probably a gun. Specifically to smite people to make them think that I'm God. And change the course of religion. Write up some New Testament to try and prevent future wars and aggressions involving the big three. As well as tell everyone that queer folk are okay. Other religions are fine. Try to put something in there so corporations can never take over the world and state that God wants you to just be a good person, not worship him. And that'll be enough to get into heaven. Which sounds a lot more hopeful to me than our current religious situation here in the States. As well as that, but I would study up on important inventions over the next couple hundred years after that era. Maybe give them a bit of a kickstart to see where we can get to by now. Aircraft carrier that is powered by nuclear energy. Those babies could last 25 years if I remember. Antibiotics. Can I cheat a little and call the complete encyclopedia a single item? Romans were big on education and knowledge. Obviously having the promise of knowledge to share would afford me a little bartering power to stay alive and learn to communicate with them, to begin translating and comparing notes. Then they get access to future knowledge, like basic STEAM tech and world maps. And I get a cushy lifestyle protected from the Romans' obsession with killing people because my info is too valuable. A classical literature teacher. It's a Latin, ancient Greek teacher, sometimes also French. A gun with lots of bullets. The Romans were vicious cunts. I'm not getting mutilated. Some heirloom potatoes. They grow well in bad soil. Can sustain you almost by themselves and keep for a while. I just helped avoid famine for a while. Not sure what it would do to the New World. Or if I am put in the New World, I'd bring some smallpox vaccine. Then hope I could seed some advancements. Curious what would happen if they could put up a real fight. A map or history book. With a map I can show the Romans the world and open up trade routes and maybe become unimaginably rich in the process. A history book would be useful if the past cannot be changed because it is basically a list of everything that will happen. Then I will have the knowledge of the future and use that to my advantage to maybe become unimaginably rich. And when someone finds out you are having such a book, you are a dead man lol laughing face. The first thought in my mind. Pringles. Cell phone. Beguile them with the wonders of the flashlight. Become queen. Stirrups. 3D printer. I can make anything from there. Caesar salad. Kanye. Their minds would be blown. An atomic bomb. By Roman Empire. Well, it would only destroy part of it. Okay, I got 3 answers. A minigun. S-Mart's top-of-the-line 12-gauge, double-barreled Remington. Longsword. I'll show these weaklings with their one-handed gladius swords where the real power is at. Nuclear bomb. I would be a god to them. Zarbumba, then say it make all Rome go bye-bye if they go close to me. Pocket pussy, the man need to find someone better than a dead lion. A gun to show them I'm the real deal, or a laser pointer to fuck with them and tell them I'm the god they don't know about. Tears of joy. A gun. Well, just in case. Loads shotgun. An M4 with loads of ammo and be hailed as God. You are sent back to the Roman ages. You can take one item from the modern world. What do you take?